All praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, or GMS, and peace and blessings to the elect. This is Zakaria back with another lesson. And what I wanted to talk about today in this lesson is this LGBT, freakism that you got going on in the world, especially in America, in this society that I'm living in. I'm gonna do this lesson, and I'm gonna add some videos along with it. But in the videos, you're gonna see a young boy whose parents are allowing him to transition into a woman, and in that video, he's gonna be, the little boy is gonna be talking to another little boy and the other little boy doesn't know that he's a girl, and it's just a complete wicked situation. I watched it. I remember talking about this before. I might have even posted it a year or two ago, but it popped back up on my YouTube feed. And I watched it and I thought I would do a lesson and just point some other things out along with it. Another video you'll see is the an animation of the operation that a man and a woman have to go through to change themselves over from one gender to the next. And when you watch those videos, I don't want you to think that I'm posting it just to, show vulgar, items or whatever, but I want you to watch it, and if you can take it, just understand that how wicked and how much of a person's mind has to be, destroyed by the Most High to allow themselves to be cut up and marred and maimed just for sexual pleasure. As Romans 1 talks about, the Lord gave them over to a reprobate mind, because that's a very destructive process that a man has to go through just to try to please himself sexually. But when I say that, it reminds me of Alfred Kinsey, and they said that he was one kind of the I don't want to say the author, but the beginning of these freakish nature, as far as sex and different ways of having sex, and who to have sex with. It's something to look into. I don't remember the whole science of it right now, but definitely Google that name, Alfred Kinsey. I know the brother Yashawamba might have did some videos on him, or at least talked about him. But it's something to look into. But whenever you're talking about homosexuality, there's definitely Leviticus 20 and 13 has to come out. So I'm going to go ahead and read that. Leviticus 20 and 13. If a man also lie with mankind as he lied with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. And that's just the way it has to be. If a man lie with a man in the way that he's supposed to lie with a woman, he'll be put to death. That's it. Done deal. But in this society, it's being pushed that is the new normal. And as I said, I think that might be a TV show, New Normal or something along those lines. But it's being pushed so heavy to where you can't leave the house without seeing that type of madness. You got people arguing about whether a man can use the female's restroom and things like that. And that's how you know that this society is crumbling. Revelation, or Salakia, 2nd Ezra 9 talks about measuring the time, and that's one of the ways you can measure the time, because of all the freakism and nastiness that you see all over the earth. But I'm gonna read Revelation 12 and 12 real quick. Therefore, Salakia, Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore, rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having a great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And that's the point that I wanted to talk about, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And being that he knows he has a short time, he's pushing this agenda to the extreme, to the max right now. To the point to where if you're a heterosexual, it's now you are in the closet. In society you have to fake like you're one of them to make it. You want to make it in management and upper level management, you got to fake and be a homosexual. And sometimes you got to go ahead and delve into that lifestyle to get what you want. Obviously that's not something that you should do. I'm just pointing out, in this society and in America, hey, that's life. That's life for these people. being a freak will get you all the way to the top, you know. But with that, I'm gonna shut this lesson down. And as I said, there's gonna be a few videos to follow, you know, and it's gonna be some animation of a male changing over and a female changing over. Like I said, it's not to just show vulgar, you know, images, but it's to prove a point. And that point is that in order for a man to want to maim and mar his body, you know, that you have to understand that that is a totally wicked, whacked out mindset. Hey, and with that, I want to say shalom.
If you think life is complicated, try dealing with a transgender girl texting a boy she just met at school.
She's made a new friend, and it's a boy. So I tell her, you know, if you're gonna have friends that are boys, they need to know immediately. I wanted to tell you that I was transgender, which means that I was a boy, but I became a girl. So I have a girl brain, but a male body.
A few moments later, the boy responds, obviously confused.
He just sent me, but you have a girl body, right?
That's a very difficult question to ask. Why don't you tell him to watch the videos first?
Jazz texts him back to watch this online video of her, hoping it will help him to understand.
And I think like a girl, but I just have a boy body. Oh, that's a cute video. So what parts of a boy do you have?
What are you gonna say?
The P word.
You are?
The P word.
Like a tattoo that won't rub off, the P word is likely to follow Jazz everywhere.
I don't care what he thinks about me if it's bad. If it's good, then I love him, so I have him.
What are you doing, Jazz?
Oh, wait till you hear what she's up to.
Greg has been down this road before with his oldest daughter, but advising a transgender tween with a crush is new territory.
What did he say?
He accepts me for who I am.
Oh, that's sweet. You happy?
Now I'm texting my friend about it.
I gotta go.
What part of being transgender hurts you the most?
My genitalia. Because right now I feel like a girl, but when I look down there, it reminds me.
And that must feel very bad for you.
Yeah.
Jazz is 11, on the verge of puberty. For a boy who wants to be a girl, that must be a disaster. Change of voice, facial hair.
It can be a disaster. Any little girl does not want to develop a beard, low voice, and we have done something about that.
Jazz is on hormone blockers.
This is day one of me on the blockers.
First given as a shot,
Relax, relax, relax.
then as a pump inserted into her arm.
It didn't hurt as much as I thought it would.
The medication stops testosterone from entering her body, essentially pausing her natural male development.
She has no detectable testosterone in her system right now.
Zero? Wow.
They block any facial hair I might get or armpit hair, maybe like just so I don't look like a boy, or even getting a deep voice also.
Jazz is 100% girl. How's your sight? And there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that they've done the right thing.
Dr. Will Charlton is Jazz's doctor. With her development on pause, the next big decision is if and when to give her estrogen, the female hormone that will allow Jazz to grow breasts, prevent facial hair, and redistribute her body fat, giving her a curved feminine shape. But the cross-hormone therapy is irreversible.
I wish I could take that right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I want to start looking like the other girls and getting some little buds.
Getting some breasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want boobs. I wear a padded bra because I just want to fit in with the other girls and just have boobs like they do.
But once Jazz begins taking estrogen, she will be permanently infertile. At 11 years old, do you think at all about being sterile and not having your biological children?
You shouldn't have to. She wants to have a baby of her own.
But she can't.
She knows she can't. It's probably one of the things that upsets her the most.
All this isn't cheap. Most insurance companies don't cover these treatments for transgender people. Hormone blockers can cost up to $18,000, and estrogen even more. Around 18 years old, Jazz will likely face another decision, whether to have gender reassignment surgery to have her breasts enhanced, and if she chooses, to have her penis inverted into a vagina. You know, there are some transgender children that have not been able to be transgender, who even want to die.
Yes, and that's why I'm doing this with you today. I want to help those kids become the person they are, and I want to tell the parents that they should still love them no matter what.
When I came to visit you, you sang a song that I was familiar with too. It was from the movie Cinderella.
Yeah.
Remember it?
Yeah. In my own little corner, in my own little chair, I can be whatever I want to be. On the wings of my fancy, I can fly anywhere, and the world will open their arms to me. I've been singing that song for a while.
You did it beautifully.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This video will demonstrate the genital sex assignment from male to female by animation with intraoperative views. Through the scrotal medial incision, both testicles are exposed. If the foreskin is still in place, the inner plate is preserved, and the penile skin is circumferentially cut and pushed to the penile base. By sharp dissection, the dorsal nerve bundle with the glans and the urethra is separated from the corpora cavernosa. Inverted through the scrotal incision, and both corpora cavernosa are removed as close as possible to the inferior pubic bone. The penile skin is inverted, and skin incisions are placed at the typical location for the clitoris and urethral meatus. The penile skin is reversed once again. The glans is reduced to the size of the neoclitoris and situated with 6-0 single-stitch sutures. The bulbar urethra is pulled through the neomeatus and split longitudinally up to the neomeatus after the penile skin is superficially incised to increase the circumference without risking the blood supply. The urethra is sutured into the increased circumference of the penile skin. With a further distal extension of the scrotal incision, the centrum tendineum will be exposed and incised. The space between the rectum and the prostate bladder base is bluntly developed. By reaching the os sacrum, the ligamentum sacrospinale is palpated, where the two sutures are placed, which are then used to position the neovagina. For the outer female genital, each half of the scrotal skin is tailored to become the labia minora and majora. The incision closures are strategically placed to appear as natural skin folds.
Historians now wrestling with how to teach LGBT history to school children as California becomes the first state to use LGBT inclusive textbooks in elementary schools. William LaJeunesse is live in Los Angeles with this story. William.
Hey, Rick, it's controversial because some publishers were not comfortable identifying people as gay. They did not out themselves, or the conclusion lacked evidence. And secondly, these courses are not optional, meaning parents cannot opt out.
Okay.
Welcome to elementary school, where in California the law requires a fair, accurate, inclusive, and respectful treatment of lesbian, gay, bi, and transsexual Americans.
I think what's going on here is an effort to politicize history.
We're not trying to make anybody gay. We're not saying there's an agenda. We're not saying that these people are better than other people. All we're saying is this is another group of Americans, and they face certain prejudices.
The state required publishers like Mark Jarrett to include the sexual preferences of prominent historical figures, among others, activist Jane Addams, writers Emily Dickinson and Nathaniel Hawthorne, and President James Buchanan, though evidence is inconclusive.
I think we should say Buchanan, he never married. He had a very good friend who was living with him. He may have been gay. On the other hand, at that time, being gay was seen as something evil and wrong.
The state approved Jarrett's text for 8th graders. In it, he refers to stagecoach driver Charlie Parkhurst as a woman who identified as a man. Baron von Steuben, who helped Washington at Valley Forge, may have been gay. Poet Walt Whitman was drawn to young men in parks and dance halls, but denied his same-sex preferences in public.
Much of this is speculation. It's not good history.
The state rejected publishers who refused to label some figures as gay and forced another to insert the word lesbian when referring to astronaut Sally Ride.